Hello, incredible greetings, everyone. How art thou? So let me go ahead and get this all shared out. And then we're going to get started. Alrighty, let me go ahead and share this out. How is everyone doing? Alrighty, so all shared out, but I forgot to do something real quick, so just give me a quick second. To do this, and then we will hop into this. All right. How is everyone doing? As you come in, give the video a thumbs up, tag a friend, drop a comment. Let me know where you are watching from. Let me know if you are a Canva newbie, novice, expert. Let me know where you fall at in the grand scheme of things. All right, I'm just sharing this out one more time. Okay, wait, nope. That is not where I want to be at. Why are you on that page? So let's go here. That is page 7. 6, 7. Newbie from Maryville, Illinois. Oh, wait a minute now. Come on now. Let's get there. All right. Thank you so much for tapping in, Yvonne. How are you? I guess it's good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Good morning for Central, Mountain, and Pacific Standard Time, but it is 12:22 here on the East Coast. So incredible afternoon to all of you guys. Thank you for that. All right. So how long have you been using Canva, Yvonne? And what all do you use it for or want to be able to use it for? All righty, there we go. All right, so I had to share it out to threads. Uh-oh. Y'all couldn't hear a word I was saying. Let me go ahead and adjust my desk so that I can raise it up for this tripod and share with the good folk over on the clock app. Oh, all right, there we go. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me well, because I had to adjust some things. And we're going to get started. So, incredible greetings. I am Shakeya, the professor, or the creative professor. Our company is HSN 365. I have been teaching creatives how to unlock their creativity in a wide variety of like trainings and classes and programs and demonstrations and live videos for 11 years. My primary design platform that, I kind of prefer and I design in is Silhouette Studio. I can conceptualize ideas there a lot better. And then if I need to like refine it, or if I want certain elements that are in different programs, I'll use that. Like I go to Photoshop whenever I want to emboss and things of that nature. But as of late, for like the past like year or so, because it's really trending, I have dived into teaching and educating creatives and DIMers. So for me, I don't really say DIY, because that's like to me, that's like telling somebody, do it yourself. Like, don't bother me. We typically, when we're taking on that project ourselves, I'm going to do it myself. So I always say DIMers or do it myselfers. I'm here to help you all, as well as those who want to monetize their creativity. We are currently in grad season. We are in the thick of it. This is where everyone's starting to promote. There's a lot of schools and a lot of areas where they're in their prom season. I'm located in Miami, Florida, Miami Gardens to be exact. So we have a couple of weeks before prom season starts here. And then we'll, of course, go into graduation. We've had all the other kind of, actually, you know what? No, I take that back. They haven't had all the senior events, because if I'm not mistaken, they should be going to grad night this weekend coming or next weekend. I think it's like the end of April. It might be like the end of April, I think, is when they'll go to grad night. So that's like the next big event before prom and then before graduation. So we're still in the thick of it. Parents here are, they're spending money like crazy. Now, some of these things might be last minute purchases for them, because there are, other obligations like through the school that they have to do. I know they think most of them have already taken their official cap and gown pictures and like paid for those. They've gotten like the senior portraits out of the way. Most people have. But there's still some outstanding things. And if you are a parent or a grad that is, graduating from college, and you need to be able to save some coins and be able to create your own designs and then send them off to, local print shops, or go to like your CVS, Walgreens, or any other like photo print shop, because you can get like your announcements and things printed on regular photo paper and just have it be like one-sided. You can go to places like Office Depot and Staples, FedEx, Kinko's, and get them printed out on glossy paper or, your standard paper, because you get a little bit of a sheen when it comes to laser prints anyway. So whether you are someone who is trying to DIM your graduation invitations or announcements, or you are somebody that wants to create for others and create in products, or maybe create your own digitals that you can sell to someone who might still want to DIM, but they don't have the time to watch a full class like this and go step by step and design it themselves. They might just need something that they can plug and play and change out the information. So that's what I'm going to help you guys with today using Canva. This is going to be very, very beginner friendly. We're not going to go like too crazy and adding a whole lot of elements. My natural style is very simplistic, like, especially for graduation. I am one where I like for the honoree to stand out. I don't like for extra backgrounds and elements to overshadow the graduate. So I tend to keep it pretty clean line. I'll show you with even our fans. And I've never missed out on the sale. I've had, we have several orders every single grad season. We've been able to also use these for other things. I've had teachers who are in the running for Teacher of the Year, Administrators of the Year, where I've been able to use these layouts for them and just, of course, take out the graduate part and do other designs. We've used them for memorial fans. These, of course, have all of the grad kind of elements to it. There's grad caps, there's diplomas, there's, of course, the grad year, and the one that we have is very versatile because you can use the same one from this year, 2026, and has dates up till 2029. So like the numbers to 2029. I have been using most of these since 2018, and they still sell like hotcakes. Okay. So you don't have to always go out all crazy. You have some clients and some people who want simple. So this is just now me putting on my professor hat as a creative business coach and mentor and teacher. We have a whole program. If all you put out there are those really, really, really crazy, crazy busy designs, then you might be missing out on those who want something a little bit more simplistic, and vice versa. If you don't have versatility in the way that you design and the things that you put out there, you might be missing out on those, like someone like me. I won't say I miss out because I can, and I do put out some of the busier designs, but if I only showcased my simple type designs, I might miss out on that person who really wants like over the top. So find some balance if you want to kind of touch all ranges, but it is okay if you want to stick to your style, because there's a lot of people who like they just aren't settled. They feel, like it's less than, like it needs more if they just do something like this, where it's just a picture, a name, the school, a couple of words, and like the mascot, things of that nature. So I'll just really, really quickly here, I'm just going to open this up just so you can see the 8 like styles that are here. So they're all kind of, fairly different, but similar. And it just kind of gives your customers ranges. And if you guys did not see any of my other content just yet, Canva now has what's called components. These are like smart objects in Photoshop, where you have one, like you have whether it's like an image, if it's text, in this case, frames, and you would go in. I'm going to do this like really, really quick. I should not, you know what? I don't want to touch this one because this is our master file, to where those who, oh, snap. I just realized that this is on this file. Let me delete this page because this is not supposed to be here. Lord Jesus. I just realized that was there. So let me just copy this real quick. I'm going to make a copy of this because I don't want to touch the template. If you don't know, if you decide that you want to be someone that sells templates, never, ever, ever make adjustments and changes on your template file, because that is live. So as you're making those changes, if you start to use that same master file for your clients, when your customers click on that template link, they're going to see all the changes that you made. So once you make yourself a template link, if you are going to still actively be using it, make sure that you make a copy of it. And that is where you will do your changes at, so that you're not altering the actual template that your customers will purchase. Okay. She says, I've been moving like a fake user, not because I'm pretending, but because I'm still figuring things out and learning as I go. Yes, we can hear you. Okay. And you are in the perfect place. The way I break it down, this live tutorial, this live class is going to help you understand Canva a little bit better. And if you want to further that education, we do have an Understanding Canva, where I am what you call a foundational instructor. Okay. for me, it is important to understand the foundation, like the essentials, the basics of how a program works before you get into like major designing, because that's where frustration starts to set in. And it's like you'll see someone do something, and because you're using Canva or like whatever the program is, you'll just assume, oh, I can duplicate this or I can replicate this in Canva or whatever program you're using. But that program doesn't have those functionalities. So you're going to spend time after time, like, just a bunch of time, hours, like minutes, hours, sometimes days. You're going to be asking in all these groups, hey, how can I do this? And you really can't. Also, just knowing what it can do so you can maximize your efforts and maximize your time. So programs like ours, which is our Understanding Canva training, is great because it allows you to understand and really learn the program and not just go straight into designing. But like I said, this live class will help you when it comes to just designing and understanding Canva a little bit more. But I just want to show really quickly here. I'm going to just come over here to Elements and I'm going to type in Grad. I'm going to pick one of their, included like images. So we're going to go to here and I'm just going to click and drag. If you're on your phone, if you purchase this, you can always go to like replace and then change it. But if I click and drag, okay, so we see how she changed right there, right? I'm going to go in and, well, it was up there, but now it's not. So there we go. Change all. So when I hit change all, and why did you not go? All right, so it changed. Why didn't you change though? Are you not? Oh, because this is a left facing one. And I did set mine up that way to where you could do left facing or right facing. So all of the right facing ones, they changed, right? So now you don't have to go to each individual one and try to change it. You can just do that. And then I'll just come over here. And if I put that there, and then I'm going to flip her. Actually, so this isn't the source. So let me go to source and we're going to come over here. We're going to place her in there. And, oh, wait, well, I can't technically flip her from here now. I had to have her flip. That's why I had to do the front facing, depending on which way you want like your image. And because I would have to create it where it's the other way, because this is not going to allow me to change it. So let's do, I think I have to change it beforehand because we'll flip her and then drop her in. There we go. And then once it processes, I'm going to move this over. Extend it out a little bit, and then I'll go change all. And then this one right here, where it was left facing, should also change. So we're going to come here and I'm just going to tell it to reset. There we go. Now it's to the left side because I had put something there first. So it didn't take the change. I just had to go in and tell it to reset. But that's one of the ways that you can do this. And then I'll just show you really quickly. If we go to folders, I'm just going to drop in one of these colors just so you can see how it globally changes. So we'll just make this a glitter. And then once it takes effect, you'll see it pop up here when it's ready to change all. All right, so I'm going to hit the check. And then now there's glitter on all of the pages for that. All right. So that's just a quick little run through of how those templates work. See, I'm real simple. Like I like stuff like this. Then of course I'll save it, take it over to, for me, Silhouette Studio, and I'll do a print and cut there. But if you're interested in that, you can always, let's see, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There we go. So I'll just put this here if you want to take a screenshot so that you can press and hold the QR code, or you can hold down your home key if you're on an Android and it will read the QR code. Oh, let me move this out of the way. It will read the QR code, and you'll be able to go to pay for that directly through PayPal, and it'll take you right to that template. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead. And why is my child on my live video and not paying attention in class? If you are still on here, child, get off. Go pay attention in class. You are, oh, wait, no, he's in lunch right now. Okay, never mind, child. Never mind. You are in lunch. So I forgive you. I'm like, why do I see my child's name? Okay. So let's get into this. Now, for the sake of this live training, I had ChatGPT kind of do like some sample design so no one can say, oh my God, she taught a class using my design. Now, I do want to show just some examples of, hey, where did you go? I have no idea. Did I close it out? Oh, that sucks if I did. I think I closed out the example page. I think I did. Did not mean to do that, but we're just going to go here and we're going to go graduation announcements. We're going to go images, and you're going to see that there's a wide range of, design options. Everyone, technically designs a different way, from really, really simple ones to ones that are really, really really out there as far as the text and having all of these really cool text effects and chrome effects and metallic effects and glitter effects and rhinestones and brush strokes, all of that. Now you can create those within programs like Photoshop, save them and bring it over as a PNG. There are several creators who will make them already in PNG format, and you can just add them to your design. You can use ChatGPT. I did that the other day, and I had it, I gave it like an example and a prompt of like what I wanted, and it created the word like senior and grad for me. So you can do it through AI, image generators, like just for that one component, and then be able to add it to your design. You can add a lot of accent elements, and you can go really basic. So like I said, I had it create, some sample ones, the ones that are supposed to kind of mimic the ones like this. I try not to click on anything up here in sponsored, because then the user would have to pay, especially if it's on Etsy. Etsy gonna send them a bill, add it to their bill for advertising. So if you did not know that, try not to click on the links that say sponsored, because then that user is going to be charged by Etsy because it was clicked on from the sponsor area. Hopefully that makes sense. So I like to kind of look down here. It's different when it's like here, because it'll go straight to like their shop, but sponsored, try to avoid those. All right. These are all like when you just put invitations in or announcements, they come up where they're pretty basic. Like that is an industry standard, because we just want the grad to stand out. As you can see from some of these, they don't always use a cap and gown, something that really signifies graduation. It's the wording on it that conveys that this is a graduation announcement. You'll be surprised that a lot of parents don't get their child's senior pictures back and their cap and gown pictures back, sometimes very, very, very close to graduation, and even after graduation, depending on the route that they took to get their pictures taken. When you go through the ones like for the school, if you didn't do it the summer before you entered your senior year or like right at the beginning, 9 times out of 10 around this time of year, some of them still don't have their photo packages unless they got like they paid the extra $300 or like $100. Well, if they get a package here, I think you pay like another $150. But just to get the CD or the jump drive with all of your pictures on it could be $300 if you don't purchase any pictures with them. But if you get like the smallest package, they end up like everything else is like 50% off. So then you can get the digitals for $150. That's how most of the like school sponsored studios do it. But now if you go to a private studio, they might get them back faster. You go through a private photographer who's going to take pictures on location and not in a studio, you'll probably get them back faster. But a lot of the times they don't have those grad pictures. So be patient with the parents because it really isn't their fault a lot of the times, because these schools, they will these studios, they're doing the senior pictures for a lot of schools, and some of these schools have hundreds and hundreds of graduates. So be patient with them. Not everyone has it. So you have to learn to sometimes be a little versatile in how you design and incorporating just regular standard images that are good quality. Of course, you don't want like a blurry selfie because that, even though they provided it to you, it can be a reflection of like your work. But as long as it is, a good picture, don't disregard or, don't like just, okay, no, I can't do this just because it isn't grad. Expand your creativeness and your imagination when it comes to these graduation announcements. You're also going to have some people who don't want pictures on it at all. So I would encourage you guys to practice designing these graduation announcements, these graduation invitations, even a custom bag, if it's a button, if it's a shirt. Practice designing without images, guys. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people that don't want their pictures on there at all. Okay. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that I got to go to the right one. I don't think I opened it though. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't think I opened it. So let's go. Let's refresh, because why are you not popping up? Okay, I think I put them under here. Okay, yeah. I just dropped them in here. I'm going to create a new design page, but I just kind of dropped them in here just for easy find and easy access. So this is one where, I just kind of put some examples and stuff in there, and chat gave me, this version, because at first my chat knows my style. So the first couple of ones that they, of course, gave me to, use to show like how to recreate these styles, they were like this, because my chat knows that I am very, like, I don't like a lot of the extra busy type things. So these are the first ones, but I know, and like these right here. Oops. Can y'all see those? Let me zoom in some more. So it created ones like this, clean lines, things of that nature. But I know that a lot of the audience that may come across my content, you guys are sometimes looking for something a little bit more busy, should we say, like, for lack of better words, with more elements and things of that nature. Hey, Valerie, how are you? I'm trying to make sure you guys can see over on the talk. Okay. I know it's a weird angle. You can always join me over on YouTube. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What happened? Okay, there we go. Trying to give y'all a better angle over here. But like I said, I wanted one that had just a little bit more like design elements. I didn't really feed it a whole lot. I kind of let it just give me something. And you can do that as well. If you're stuck on ideas, just let chat know, or whatever image creator, like you can use Gemini, you can use Midjourney, you can use Bing, things of that nature. And you're just going to let it know like what it is that you're trying to create, so that it will give you some sample or like example designs that can be your starting point. That's all I did, with these. And I mean, these are like, okay. Of course, it won't have that whole, AI and chat GPT haze over it, but this like lets you see like the film strip kind of setup. Not quite a Polaroid, but like a picture there. I'm not sure if I would do the pendant banners, but you have, like the scroll banners or ribbon banners, and then 2026. So it just gives you ideas for layouts that you could use. So there was that one, and then this one, they went really, really crazy on this one. Getting all of these glow effects, not creating them from scratch, is not something that you'll really, really be able to accomplish in Canva. However, Canva does have a lot of preloaded kind of neon sign type effects if you're really wanting that look, and you can go and search the elements and you'll be able to build out something that's very similar to this. But creating glow or neon effects in Canva is not, because they have like the neon effect, but it's not going to be like this. This is something that's more either have, AI generator do it for you, or you want to go into Photoshop or like Affinity Photo and things like that to create those effects. Okay. But here are a few designs, few here. So I'll ask you guys, where should we start? Based off of, I'll show more than one example, but I want to go based off of those who are on right now and what catches your attention. What is it that, like, what style would you like to learn how to create? I'll let you guys decide which one we start with. Okay. So there's you can put red, full graphic design. If there's any of them within these, now it might be a little harder for me to put all of these on the screen for you guys to choose from. Is that all of them? Okay, yeah, there's that one. All right, so there's quite a few in here. So this is set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this one is just single. So let me know which one from which set, and then like, the second one from the top, third one, like just let me know which one you want me to start with. I will go off of you guys here. If not, then I'm going to choose mine. Of course, I'm going to start with the simpler ones, because that's my natural design style. Because even when it comes to, I'm going to go Grad. I think, yeah. So it comes up here. If I were to show you, like, when it comes to me doing fans, I keep it real simple. My yard signs, it's more about the grad themselves. So I use a lot of their pictures, kind of add a little razzle dazzle to like the name, but I keep it real clean line. So that's like my natural design style. So I naturally gravitate towards that. Going once, going twice for your input on which ones to start with. Thank you guys for double tapping the screen and for the likes. Whoa. I realize it's pretty dark in here. Let me go turn my light on real quick. I don't think that's really going to help a whole lot. right. And yeah, but even if I turn on this, I don't think that's going to help y'all over on TikTok. It's just going to mess up because now it's like going directly into the camera. So what did I ask again? So I asked, I'm going to show a couple different options as far as designing. So I was asking, based off of what you see here and what you may potentially want to design, like which design style should we break down, deconstruct, and start with as far as how you would, go about creating it? At least the core elements of it. Like I said, the way, like the effect of this that Chat GPT creates, you wouldn't be able to fully do that in Canva. A lot of like the neon and glowy type effects, if you can't find an element that has like that 3D effect, chrome effect, as far as banners and stuff, you may not be able to easily do that in Canva. Trying to find the perfect line that has glow to okay, I don't say border. To make as a border to these sections might be a little bit, harder. Finding all, so I won't like go through like find all the doodles, but I will walk you through the foundational things, like if it was this one. But we also have here. So this is one. Let me try and zoom in so you guys can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me, like that's 4, 5. Oh wait, no. So this was 4, 5, 6. I thought it was 6 of them. So either really simple or one of the other ones. So someone says a simple one, the one with the palm trees. Someone said red. So we have like different ones. There's no one like that is like more than one person chose it so far. So so palm trees, a simple one, I guess, would still be kind of like palm trees. Someone said the red one, of course, y'all always want, like, I figured a lot of people probably would want the one that's really, really busy. I'm waiting for a tiebreaker or two for you guys to put in and kind of have a tiebreaker. Oh, wait, what happened over here? I cannot see my comments over on Facebook. I have no idea what happened. So hold on, y'all. If you are commenting over on Facebook, I'm not ignoring you. I just can't see the comments for some reason. Let me go find this post, because where the comments come at, it went away. Okay. All right. So someone said within 2. Okay, so that's along the lines of like the simpler ones. So any particular one, so those of you guys who said more simplistic, I mean, these are kind of sort of the same. Anyone in particular here? But they'll kind of have like the same foundation. All right, so we'll jump into this. Couple of things. First thing you're gonna want to do is decide on the size that you want them to be. A 5 by, I'm going to default to Silhouette Studio for just a moment, because it's easier to show on an open design area like this. So I'm going to go like this and make this a 4 by 6. And we're going to fill this in with color. And then I'm going to do another one. And I'm going to make that a 5 by 7. We're going to send this to the back. So I want you to see, this started out as a 4 by 6. This is a 5 by 7. If I stretch this to reach from 6 to 7 inches, it does not go all the way over to the edge. So you can't just take something and say, okay, well, I'm going to design this in 4 by 6, but if I decide I want it to be a 4 by 5, a 5 by 7 later, I'll just stretch it out. Part of your design will get cut off when you go to resize it. This is one of the top issues that newbies or those who just don't understand graphic designing they run into, because they'll purchase a template that's one size, but they want it to be a different size, and no one explained to you, or the seller didn't explain to you, or you didn't join any design classes on how to make that now fit the right sizing. Canva has a resize option, which does a fairly decent job, but then you'll have to just go in and do like a little bit of tweaking once it resizes it, because everything isn't going to fit proportionally. So 4x6 does not proportionally resize to a 5x7. So you're going to want to decide which size you want to design for. And if you want both options, like I said, Canva is a great platform to have it resize, and then you're able to make adjustments. I'll show you really, really quickly, because I literally just had to do this for my thumbnail. So I originally designed this, which I think is like a Facebook standard like size or something like that, but it wasn't ideal for a YouTube thumbnail. So I went down here, and of course there's another place like resize, but you can resize just that single page. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to go resize page. You do have to have pro or business in order to resize. I believe it's also an option like if you have like the educational version. So I'm just going to go YouTube thumbnail, and it just duplicates it on a new window. So it doesn't, it's no destruction to the original one. It makes a new one. But what you'll notice on the new one is my background designs don't go all the way to the edge. This moved over some. So I would have to just restructure and like realign everything, because it's not the same proportions. So if you did that with like, let's say invitations or something like that, let's say you don't want to design, you go to someone's site, they have their set up for 4x6, but you want to get 5x7 invitations printed. Like I said, you have to have that pro account or borrow somebody's own, send it to somebody, let them convert it for you, and set it up for 5x7, and then just rearrange and recenter everything, and vice versa. If you purchase a template that was 5x7, you're going to want to resize that page so that you can see it in its proper proportions. Make sense? Are y'all with me? If you understand, type in understand or put a 3 in the chat. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to come back over here to our home screen. All right, so I see a 3 in chat. Okay, you guys are understanding. We're going to come over to custom size. And then we're going to change this to inches. For me personally, this is how I teach my students. Canva default DPI, its default resolution is 96. Not even at 100% like or 100 DPI to where at scale you'll get a clear image. It is 96. And most times when you're uploading to any type of print site and they're allowing you to upload your images or your files, and it is for a specific size, if you designed it in Canva and you upload it, you are going to get a low resolution error because it is saved lower than 300. They are looking for a 300 DPI image, but Canva naturally designs like its standard its standard DPI is 96. I need to let you guys understand that. What is the standard resolution for Canva designs? What is the standard resolution for Canva designs? What did I just say? Okay, there we go. 96. 96 is the standard DPI. So if you want it to not give you that error or come out better, like if you have to blow it up a little bit, what you want to do is make your design bigger, your design page bigger. So within the same proportions, but at least 2 to 3 times bigger. 2 to 3 times bigger. If you do it 3 times, it'll get you closer to that 300 range. It might still tell you that it is low resolution, but I promise you it'll be okay for you to go ahead and just hit submit. If your design is too big and you can't really make it 3 times or closer to that, the equivalent of 300 DPI, just double it and you'll still be okay to submit it for printing. So if I just double this and I wanted to do a 4x6, I would need to make my design page 8 by 12. That is doubling each side of it and it's still going to be proportional. If I wanted to make it 3 times the amount to get closer to that 300 DPI resolution, we're going to multiply that by 3. So I would make the design page 12 by 18. Did I lose anybody on that? Do you guys understand what I did there? To make it closer to what any standard outsourced printing, location wants of that 300. Now, there is a way to get the sizing exactly to that 300. We do have a conversion chart for that. If you're interested in it, let me know. But you have to at least double it or 3x it in order for you not to get that error and to ensure that you have a clear image even when you shrink it down. Okay, so I'm going to just go 3 times the size. So I'll go in, it's inches. I'm going to make my width 12 because 4 times 3, 12. And then I'm going to make my height 18 for 6 times 3. It's going to give me the same proportional size, which I'll come over here. And I'm going to make this 4 by 6. If I where are you? Oh, here, right here. If I 3x it, 12 by 18. Okay. And it's proportionally the same size to have it printed 4 by 6. Now, okay, there you go, right there. All right, now let's go over here. No, not that one. Actually, you know what? Duh, Shakeya, I don't have to do that. I added it to my upload. So we're going to go upload. And it was someone asked about the one with the palm. Oh, wait, no, not that one. Is that the one with the palm trees? No, probably this one. Actually, there's a couple of them that had palm trees. So I'll use both of these like as references. So if you don't know, I am a full-on teacher. I'm an instructor. These are classes. They may be a little bit longer than your standard tutorial where it's like, okay, just click here. I like to explain to you what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, why you are going to do that. So it helps you when you are creating your own designs. Okay. It is great to mimic designs to help you understand structure. All right. So if we take this one as an example, I'm going to just crop all the other ones away so that I can fully see this one. And then same thing here. I'm going to crop there and crop this down. And there's two different versions here, so I'll kind of go with both. I'll leave them both there. So you're going to have to figure out where you want your focal piece, like your focal element to be, and then all of the accents outside of the image. So once you kind of decide on the image, if you want it to be the majority of it, if you're going to have it where it's like half the page, maybe you'll break this up into 3 sections, and you'll know that you're going to want your picture in the middle section, the top for the actual invite, and the bottom half of it for the invite information. In this case, it is not quite 3s in how they have it set up. It might be like a little bit, a little bit off, especially on that bottom part. But they didn't do like a really large picture. They put the information next to the picture. So now that kind of limits the size of the picture that you can use. And then, of course, the top part is the actual invite. You're invited to a graduation party in honor of. So it's like those main words. The other thing with designing is when it comes to your fonts. Typically, what is taught is to limit it to no more than 3 fonts, because you'll have ones for, especially for like informational things, you may want that to not be so fancy, because if it's small, it's going to be hard to read. If you have something like a name or a focal point, like something you really want people to focus their attention on, you want it to be the star of the show or share the stage with the other main element. So like giving like main character energy, you'll have that be a separate font. So like in this case, the name, it is a totally separate font. You don't see that font anywhere else on the page. So it's going to stand out. Then when it comes to all of the other information, like the you're invited to, things of that nature, you could use other fonts, or you can kind of switch up the font that you're using. So maybe it'll be the same font, but you're going to make it bold so that stands out compared to the text that actually has the party information. You might use the same fonts, but you're going to curve it and arch it. So you're going to give it a different look, where it might seem like it's a different font, but it's really not. Okay. All right. So here is a Polaroid. We're going to go over to elements, and you're just going to type in, well, we're going to go to frames. So the thing about, you may not have to, I'll show you kind of 2 different ways. But typically with Canva, if you have a design element and you want to add a picture, a background, and things like that, you have to have what's called a frame. Now, there are some Polaroid frames available in Canva, but there's also ones that's just Polaroids. Images, they're not frames, but you would take a square frame and size it up to fit that area. So it'll be 2 separate pieces, and then you'll just group them together. So I'm going to go, so Polaroid, I'm going to put Polaroid frame. I'm just going to go Polaroid. Oh, wait, you guys can't see that. Okay. And then under frames, there is a Polaroid here. Okay. And they have some that are a bit wider. There is a film strip here, because that one that we saw, and I design with the film strips all the time, but you're stuck with the orientation and the proportion of their frames. I like to create my own, because then you have more control over the size depending on the type of images that your client submitted. Okay, so we're going to just delete this one. Okay, what is going on here? Is Canva having issues? Because even this is not showing up the way that it's supposed to. I'm trying to delete it and it won't let me delete. Okay, we're just going to pull you off of the screen because I have no idea. See, that one showed it. Don't know what was happening with the other one. All right. Now I'm going to go to, you have graphics, right? And then some of these have different textures to them. So if you end up with something that is a photograph or a graphic and it's just the frame, like the outline part of it, you would go 2 frames. I'm going to just go to photos real quick because I want to pull one of these. So like this has a lot of good shadowing on it, right? So you may want to have that where it naturally has shadowing to it. These are all pro ones. I don't see any that's not a pro element for frames. We can always go up here and filter and look for any free ones. So even if it has an image, so I don't want you guys to ever feel like you can't do these. So they have quite a few of these that already have images in them. And they're more like, they look like vintage. They have like a little effect on it. And that is fine as well if you end up just wanting to use the free ones, because you're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to come out, we're going to go to frames, click on the square one, and then you're just going to line it up. Pull the edge in, come down like this, pull this over, bring this one down, and you're just going to cover up that middle section. One of the greatest, and I do mean greatest, updates that Canva is rolling out ahead of the April 16th Canva Creates is the ability to edit when things are grouped together. So I'm going to go ahead and just group that. And if it was like text in there, you will be able to isolate that and edit it as well. Whereas before you had to ungroup it. That's one of the greatest changes to like the new Canva setup. So I'm going to do this again. And we're going to, so do I want to rotate it or do I want this to come? I'm going to fix this one first. Like I'm going to just rotate it to where it's nice and flat. It's going to make it easier. Uh-oh. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, that's nice and flat. It's going to make it easier for me to position the frame. And then we'll just select that, group it together, and then rotate. And see here, and this is what I mean as far as editing it. My frame was a little bit off, so I'm going to just kind of increase that. Before I used to have to ungroup it. But those are the ways. So I will do the same thing, put a frame there. You can even, with this one, because it's open, you can even put the square frame behind it instead of in front of it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just delete all of these because we have our frame. I think I'll use this one just because it has a natural shadow on it. And when it comes to like, see if you click here, we're going to go to effects, you go to drop shadow. Oh, wait, graphics, they have now added that. So now, and with the frames and stuff like this, you can add like the shadows on it. This one, we don't see it as far as adding a shadow. You would have to click on just this image to be able to go into edit, convert it to an image, and then add a shadow. So it's like a whole lot of. We're just going to go with this one because it has a natural shadow on it already. And for these, I'm just going to cut them and then add them to a new page just for the heck of it. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of somewhat break this up into 3 sections, kind of like how they did. I just bring down the guidelines. You go over to file and then settings, and you can show rulers and guides or hit Shift R and it'll turn that on. So I'm just going to break that up. And for now, oops, see, I was inside the middle of it. We're going to just resize this and place this in this middle section. Okay. And let me get you and move you up here. All right. Now, this sits on top of, so actually the way that this design is, it's almost like a design. It's almost like it's a card that's, I don't say like a mock-up, but it's a card like with the, like it's not a full effect. So I'm going to kind of alter that one just a little bit. But to be able to break that section up, I am going to add basically a box and then give it a border. So we're going to back this up. We're going to go to, let's do paper. Oh, I don't want frames. I need to go back to just elements, and we're going to go paper. And we have this one. I'll make this a little bit bigger. And I actually probably need to do it based off of the gold frame. So let's go gold frame. And there's going to be photos. There's going to be just design elements like this. Now this one is not fully open, so we don't want to use that. This one is cool because it is fully open. This one is solid. This has like a little, oh, I like this one. So let's go with, let's go with this one. It might be a little too thin. I don't know. That might be a little too thin, but we can always go to Ask Canva and tell it to make the lines of this frame thicker. And it's, okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. There we go. I almost lost y'all over on Canva. Look, lucky I looked up. All right, so it's going to use AI to recreate it. So it's not going to be like the exact same. It's going to pretty much give a new version of it created via AI. So like, if you don't know, Canva is damn near 80% AI driven at this point. While that's doing that, I'm going to change the color here. So I'll click on the background, go to my color dropper, well, go to the color circle. I'm going to hit the plus sign to add color. I'll go to the color dropper and I'm going to sample one of these like sandy ash tones from the paper. Okay. And let's see what it gets. I did not ask for that. Okay. It gave me, I don't know where why it came up with that. I don't know what it was looking at. I wanted this one, but okay. I ain't got time for that. Let's just look for another one because that's going to drive me crazy. I don't want it that thick though. But that is narrow. I don't know why it did like the whole thing. I had it on that one. Canva's been acting pretty wonky lately. Okay, so let's just go with this one. At least it's not like a straight, that frame is like thick. So I'm just going to go with this one. Shrink it down. I mean, I probably could do, we'll put you down here. And then I don't want the paper to be much bigger than the frame. So I'm going to kind of bring that in some. And then I will center them. Go to align, center, and align. middle. And then let's group that. We'll see how this works. I'm going to put this at the bottom for now. And then we're going to click on it and tell it to, going to go to position, send it to the back. All right. And then our frame kind of comes right here. All right. Now we're just going to look for palm tree elements. So we're going to go palm leaves. All right, under graphics, we have quite a few. So this is like a full border. And it's a little cut off right here. So we don't want to use that because you don't really get the full leaf at the bottom. So don't want to use that. There's some that's just like this that are corner pieces. We can go like that. You can build it up by layering some. And then let's just go to see all. We'll use one of these for like that bottom part. I don't necessarily want the champagne, so I probably won't put that on mine. This is a different look. And you have to be very careful. Well, at least for me, when I'm teaching design, you see how this is, and it's like 3D, it's like glossy, it's not flat. This is flat. We don't want to mix flat with ones that have depth to it. It's going to make your design look very, very amateur. It's going to make you look like an amateur designer when you're mixing those type, like they're the same type of elements. Like there's they're leaves and things of that nature, and one is a flat vector and one has depth. You don't want to mix and match those. This one, because of the way it is, like you really wouldn't be able to tell too much that it's different from here. This is closer to this one that's up there. Okay, now this matches this a little bit better, so maybe let's go with that. So we're just going to delete. We're going to put this in the corner. We'll duplicate it, flip it horizontally, put this here. You can even rotate it. If you don't want it to be straight up and down. We're going to delete that one. I'll use this one. I'm going to duplicate because I now want to delete these off of here. Oh, let me actually go back. So one of the things that you can do, like if you do not want to have to go back, like let's say you like that element, right? You don't want to use it right now, but you also don't want to have to go back through elements to find it, even though it'll come up in like your recents. This new update with Canva called Components, oh my gosh, it is game changing for things like this. If you have not played around with it, definitely start playing around with components. If you really want to see how components like work and, you know, in its glory, I'm telling you, if nothing else but to see a design that is full of components, I highly recommend that you guys get our Grad Fan Held Hand Sign Set, because this will truly, truly show you how amazing the components feature is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to right click on it and I'm just going to tell it to create a component. Says it'll do AI and give you a name. You can always change it. And I'm just going to go create and I'm going to delete that. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go create component again. And I'm going to put, it'll probably still say gold frame. I'm just going to put thick lines gold frame. Okay, I'm just going to go create. It's going to put it in components to where if I wanted to add that to the design or change it out for like, you know, I wanted to use it, I just go to components and it's there. I don't have to go and filter through elements. So if you come across a design that you like, yes, you could always star it and things of that nature. There's a section for things that you starred, but that's going to show you all of your starred elements. This will allow you to keep elements for this design specifically. Isn't that cool? That components feature When I say that thing is so game changing, oh my gosh. When I saw that, when I play around with, anytime I open up Canva, I just explore it. Also, because I know that Canva Creates is on Thursday, and Canva is notorious for rolling out new features and things like that ahead of Canva Create. And then we'll probably get a bunch load, like a whole lot more as it's going on or right after. I'm always like the 2 weeks before, I'm always like really, really looking for all the changes. And they've made quite a few changes ahead of Canva Create. Okay, so we have this. Let me go back to our reference image and see what else, like element wise. Okay, so we'll need like some accent. Like I said, I'm not going to do the champagne. If you wanted to do the champagne, again, just go and look for one of those. If you wanted to change any of these to be more like this, where it is a watercolor design, if you click on edit, you have style match. If you go over, there is a watercolor style there already. You click on that and it's going to convert this. And again, it's using AI. It's not really changing that specific element to it. It's using that as a reference, and it's going to create a whole new version. So that's why sometimes you will see some, not say imperfections, but you'll see some deviation from the way the original one was. Is that what it gave me? Because I don't like that. Oh, this is one of the times. Okay, wait, maybe it needs to fully process. Because if this is the case, this is one of the times where it did not give a great result. Oh my gosh. Is that the final result? Because baby, that's not cute. That one's not cute. And normally it gives you some pretty cool result. Okay, there it is. I was about to say it had to finish rendering and process. So there it, I actually like the watercolor better. I'm not even gonna lie. I like the watercolor version better. I do. I do. I'm gonna let it process this one because I was kind of worried. So I didn't, so I'm gonna let it process the one that I just sent. And then, okay, that was not bad. That was not bad either. I'm glad I did kind of click on that. I do kind of sort of like this one too. It's like a scrapbook effect. And that might work, like, because we have the paper on there. So this scrapbook effect might work. I love the colors that they made the scrapbook version. To me, the first one was a little bit too greenish. The watercolor one is like very, very light. I really like the colors on the scrapbook one. So again, I'm just going to turn that into a component. And just in case I want to come back to it, we can have that there. And I can also use that as a style match. So for any of the other elements. So that was pretty cool. Oh, I think create. Ooh, I need my charger. My it's gonna hang, it's gonna turn off on y'all over here on TikTok if you want. If it does, you can always go over to my YouTube 365 Creative Academy to watch the rest of this, either the playback or watch it with us live. All right, and I'm gonna throw you over in components also, because I'm going to keep this one for now. And then let's drop one of you. Yeah, let's drop you in components, which you can use a keyboard shortcut, which is Control K. No, wait, it's not. Let me see. It will be Control, or is it Shift Control? Alt Control, Alt. I forget which one it is, but all right, we're just gonna go there for the both sides, and then now I'm going to go copy style, paint that on, copy style, paint that on. Oh, I forgot to make, did I make a duplicate of it? I did forget to make a duplicate, but that's okay. There we go. So it has that style now. All right. Oh, this also has, so let's maybe bring in this border, because there is, oh, that's too thick. That is too thick. I could probably do this because looking at this one, there is a secondary gold border. So maybe to about there. And then we're going to send that to the back. We'll bring this down and this down, which means we will adjust this and our guideline for our text. Okay. Great thing about, hey. I don't want it to jump into these components. That's the only thing that sucks about components, is if you drag other things over it, it will try and add it to the component, just like frames. So be careful with that. I'm going to bring this to the front. One of the things that is so awesome and so amazing about Canva, if you have Pro, is the grab text. So I don't want to type all this out. I had AI create it for me. You can even tell it like with a sample name in there. And yes, you'll have to go in and change the fonts, but you won't have to type everything over. So we're going to utilize this. We're going to go to edit, grab text. And this is a big design, so I'm going to go click. I want it to do this, this, and this, not everything else that's there. And I'm going to go grab. I probably should have duplicated it because now this one is going to be, oh, come on. I need to detach this from, I need to remove it from the component. It had jumped in there. That's the only thing that sucks. All right. So now we have, I'm going to lock my components for now because I don't want things to jump inside of them. Oh, is it still going to try and jump? Oh, it's still going to, oh, lock doesn't keep things from trying to jump into the component. Now that's one I did not bother. I hadn't really tested that out yet. So locking it does not prevent things from going into the component. That's okay. All right, so you're invited to a graduation party. I'm going to extend that out. Let me add my reference one back in. Where'd you go? Right there. Let's crop you down because we don't need all the other stuff. All right, maybe what if I lock this one? Oh, but then it's locked in place. Don't want to do that. That's going to be the one part that sucks about the component, is it trying to jump. So you're invited to a graduation party to honor, and then, the name. So we'll just come here. It normally does a better job of choosing a font that's closer to it. I had a couple of them here. We're going to use this one. And the one that I am using here, so I'm going to hold down Control so that it doesn't go to the component. This particular font that I'm using for this is Amorosa, I guess, or AMORESA. Okay. And then we're going to go, you're invited to a graduation party. We're going to change the font of that. The seasons, let's see. Okay, so let's duplicate. This part is now becoming a little bit annoying because of the components. It keeps trying to jump inside of it now that I have all these elements on here. Yeah, that part is that's going to get kind of annoying. I now see the downside of that feature. So we're going to go graduation party. I'm going to make graduation party bold. It's the same font. I just made it bold. I'm going to make it bigger. And now every time I move this, I just have to hold down Control. And then you're invited to, I'm going to add a little bit of letter spacing. And then we're going to select them. And I'm just going to go to position so that I can just do it in 2 clicks instead of opening it back up. Align center. Okay. And then group it together. And we're going to place you here. To honor Now, I don't know how that would work on the mobile version because you can't hold down Control. So using components on there would probably be kind of annoying. But what I can do, like for the sake of this tutorial, even though I made it components, one, I'm going to, let's unlock them first. I'm just going to duplicate them on a different page. But I'm going to detach them from components. So I'm going to release it. So was this a main one? I'm just going to go new instant. No, hold on. I got to change all first because the old version is coming in. So this part does suck. Let's get on my nerves now. Change all. Component, change all. And then I would have to do a new instance of it so that I can detach it and then put it back. Same thing over here. Like I would have, but I'm just going to delete these and place this here, duplicate it, flip it, because the component in this moment was getting on my last nerve. I'm not even going to lie. Let's add a little shadowing to this just to give it some separation. Put a little bluer, adjust the intensity. Definitely need to adjust that a little bit more. So there we go. It was too much bluer. Adjust my intensity, the distance. Okay. And then let's just go and match it on that side. Okay. And let's find a grad image to add to this. So we're just going to go grad, photos, see all. And we're going to look for one that has a grad by themselves. I do like that picture though. I mean, she's really cute. So we're just going to drop her in there. Yeah, we're just going to use her. We just drop her in there. And then we can delete this one. All of our other information, class of, let's bring this down, the date, the location, the RSVP. Now that I have it, I don't know if I really like her picture. We'll see. Now here, this image, it will not allow you to crop it, okay? You can't crop that away at all because it was a graphic. The best thing to do is to go to Elements, go to shapes, put a square, go to the color, use the same color as the background, and you're just going to mask or cover that up. And then for position, go to layers and move this right above that frame. And so now it's going to look like that's only at the top and it doesn't go to the bottom if you don't want it to go that far. Now, if you do want it to go all the way down there, then you don't have to do this, but that's just a little design tip. If you wanted to kind of cover it up a little bit, because you cannot crop it down. If you wanted it to be moved up some where you just have the gray, just barely have like some of that gold bottom to it, you would have to do a lot of layering. You would need to cover this up. And then like try and layer it where this one is on the bottom and cover that up, but put it behind. It's a whole lot of like to that, but I'm just going to kind of cover that bottom one up and move this whole thing down just a little so that we just kind of have this border here at the top. We have this one. And to honor, we're going to change this font. And it's going to be the same one that I use for most of the text here. So I want it to be complementary, but not something to where you're not going to be able to read it. One of the things that I don't want to do, because I'm making this a different font, I don't want it to be similar to the font that's there in any way, shape, or form. It needs to be different. Not just a different font, but a different style if you're going to add a third font in between these two. My phone is on 3%, so TikTok, it is about to knock y'all off. You can always go over to YouTube, 365 Creative Academy, to watch, because I don't want to get up to go get my charger. Melanie asks, what program am I using? I am in Canva. So this is a Canva training on designing. So I am in Canva. And then I see another one here that said, what size did I make it? Because I want my final size for this to be 4x6, we 3x that. So I made it 12 by 18. Okay. And that was all the questions over on TikTok. Sorry, I'm just now seeing them because I'm technically on the side of it. I can't see my comments in real time. All right. So let's go in. So even something like this, we don't want to do anything that is similar to it. You want it to be totally different. Nah, that's a little too basic. That's a little too wide. That's too thick. Which one do I want to use? That's still a little too fancy and a little too close to the one that's there. I might be able to get away with this one. And we're going to move this back over. Okay, to honor. All right, there we go. Not too thick, not too thin, complementary to the two fonts that are here. Okay. And I can probably bring this down just a tad. and make the name a little bit bigger. Oh, yep, TikTok is gone. My phone went dead. All right, so from this, we have like this little, this spacer in between. So we're going to go, just going to go line. And then there's graphics. Okay, let's go decorative line. Oh, wait, I did have it right the first time. I did not. There we go. All right, so graphics, see all. So see, now we have like these decorative lines. We can go with this one, and then we're going to go edit. And then color-wise, I'm going to sample the gold color. And they're also here, so you can sample any of those. All right, so class of, I'm going to do the same font that's here. So I'll just copy style, class of, we'll make it bold. I don't, this is where I might take some creative liberty, and I think I'm going to change class of, because I mean, that font is cool, but it is kind of thin. It's a little thinner than I would like to use, but that's too fancy for the rest of the design. Let's do the seasons is also going to be thin. Let's look and see what Alice, oh, hell to the no. Alice, heck no. Okay, I guess we're just gonna, for now, I'm just gonna leave it at the one that was there, because it'll take me too long to find a font. We just want to kind of really work on the layout of it, and then we can go in there and change it and tweak it later. Class of, and none of these bold is giving me what I'm looking for. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to take off of. We'll move 26 over some. We'll do of, but now that's going to be smaller. Let's reduce the space, line spacing, reduce that spacing in between. Okay. And then we have our decorative piece, our decorative separator. I'm going to put this one down here just in case. And then we're going to do our date, which I am going to make that the same as the one here. So we'll click here, copy style, go to the date. I want that to be bold. We don't need the 20. I'm not going to put the 2026 on there, 7 p.m. Based off of where they live at. They should know the time zone. And then the location. So the location, I want that to be a little bit more legible. So I'm going to use the to honor, copy style, do the location. Now, I have no idea where in the hell this is, so we're just going to put Miami. Miami Gardens. Because, child, who that was, I have no idea. Don't know. Told y'all, I use AI to create it. Now, if I want this to be slightly thicker, I would go into effects. I would use outline. The outline needs to be the exact same color. So we would go here, sample, and we're going to sample this color. And then we're going to make this a little bit thinner. So this is before, and you can add just a little bit more thickness to it, just so it's not so thin. So although we made it bold, you can use the effects to make it just a little bit thicker. All right. And then our RSVP, I'm going to make that the same as the location information. And now I'm just going to play around with it. So that's like the base. That's the baseline of what we have here. So I'll just bring this to the front just so you guys can see it one last time because I'm about to delete it. All right. So here is and I can get rid of, I can get rid of my guidelines. So that's like the base of it. Okay. So we're going to get rid of that, which means all of this in this section right here can come up just a little bit. I can delete this. We're going to put this right here at the bottom. We're going to move this here. And now for everything, like for stuff at the bottom, this is where you can start to add textures. They had theirs where, did not move. Because it was like, it was an invitation on top of another background. That is what you saw at the bottom. And the way that this is broken up, I would not be able to really make this any bigger to fill out this area. This is why I say it's important to know the size. It's important to know how you want to break it up and if you would add other elements to it, because now this could seem a little bare at the bottom if you don't have information there. But this is a section where if you wanted to, you can put information like a QR code for, their Cash App or Zelle or whatever for like monetary gifts. If there is a gift registry, you can do that because this is for a party, not necessarily to the graduation itself. So if you wanted to now in this space, use it for QR codes and things of that nature, you can. So now let's go up here. I'm just going to put decorative accents just to kind of see what all does it give. I'll go decorative confetti. All right, I want to see what all this kind of gives. Because this is a little bit too harsh. I mean, we could probably put it down here for the QR code, but that doesn't quite match the goal there. Like I said, I do like these a little bit darker. I'm going to go in here for adjustments. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to adjust this contrast because I really wanted this to be a little bit darker because yeah, I just like the darker version that was on here. I like that better than these lighter ones. Okay. And then, oh, undo. Why did you completely change? That's okay. We're just going to add some, take away contrast for you. I just want it to be a little bit darker than what it was. Even with this one, I actually went the wrong way with the contrast. I want this to go up. I like it a little bit darker. And then let's see. I don't necessarily want to put, so let's just go palm leaf. I just want more of like accent ones than let's see what happens if I add another one. Is it going to clash with this? Not so much. Oops. Ooh, I like that little thing that it put on it though. Definitely changed up the style of that Polaroid. It actually made the color match the background a little bit more. I can probably go without. I know it was on the original one. I mean, it's a cool element, but I'm just gonna put it in the staging area. And then because there's a harsh line right here, because I moved this, what we're going to do is go to fade. I'm going to grab a graphic one that's going to make it easier to change the color. Normally the color will pop up here. Let's see if I can get one where the color pops up. If it doesn't, if you go to edit and then go to adjust and come down here to the colors, it normally pops up for the color adjustments whenever you're using you're using these. So I'm just going to go tan fade. I'm going to find one that's almost close to the color already, and then adjust it from there. Let's see. Well, this, I don't know why it's not giving me the color options. Edit, adjust. Okay, so we do have these. So we'll click here. All right, let me see. Now if I click off, will it give me the colors? Why none of these want me to? Okay, so boom, there's one that has it. So we'll click here, click our color dropper, sample the sand color or tan color. Ooh, that gave me an ugly color though. That didn't make it where it was exact. Normally when you have the graphic ones, it will give you the exact same color. This did not. Let's see here. Let's see if we can't get this one. No, that was not matching up either. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to come to my square. I'm going to go to the color dropper and I'm going to sample that color, and let's see if we can't get this to mask out that harsh line. Backwards, 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 backwards. I mean, it does, but I don't know if I like the drastic change. So to fix that, I would have to try and get my fade. So this is where you might like a certain color, but you may have to make adjustments. So since I couldn't get the fade to match the background, I now need to get that as light as I like, the color that I want it to be. That's so dark. But all the other ones are making it way too, it's like it's turning it more brownish than anything, or like grayish, should I say. See if I sample this color. See, it's more of a gray tone. I don't really want a gray tone for this. That kind of sucks. I really don't want a gray tone to the bottom of this, but I want it. That's the thing I don't like about the fade sometimes. It doesn't always give you like the exact color. All right, let's see. That's still kind of grayish, not really tannish. So we'll see. And then click the shape, color, dropper, sample that bottom color, and then make this where it's like that, and then position, send it backwards until it is behind all of this, but over it, it's still so dark. That's the part that's going to drive me insane. It's still so super dark. And I'm going to move my RSVP up here and make the line spacing closer together. And I'm going to move everything else up away from the RSVP. And make this a little bit bigger so it stands out a little bit from the RSVP. This is the part that's going to drive me crazy. All right, so I don't know. Maybe we'll just do it that way. We'll leave. I really don't want to leave the gold though. I don't want to see that gold, and I cannot fade it off. I can't crop it. Can't do any of it. That sucks. This is where I like Silhouette Studio better. I'm not even gonna lie, because I can't really get rid of that. Ugh. That's not fair. Not fair at all. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of the fade. No. Why did my border go away? Okay, we'll move you, delete the border, make you back the color of the background. And just move my picture over where it kind of covers it. Edit, shadow, drop shadow. Just so that it adds some definition. And then we're going to add in our QR codes. I'm going to shrink those down. Position, bring forward. I want it in front of the paper element. I like that better. You should be behind that. I like that better. I'll make this just a little bit bigger and let it kind of go off the edge. And then I'm going to add a random QR code to this, guys. I have a bunch of them from my own stuff. So I'm just going to add a random QR code to this. Great thing about it is you can make it match the design. So I can either change this to match the fonts. I can make it gold. Let's see here. I don't know why it's not changing though. Ooh, wait, no. Don't change all. Why is this QR code? Unless this is this one of the Canva ones or one of mine? Let's just go duotone, custom, change the black to gold. And let's make the white the sand color just so that it mixes in, and it will still scan even with it being a different color. So we just don't want it to, or you can even make it green so it blends in with the elements here. That is up to you. So I'm going to put this fairly close to the, like right over that. And then we're just going to duplicate this text and put for monetary gifts. Please scan code. Adjust our line spacing. I'm going to make this 3 lines. I'll make it just a little, well, let's see. I want scan code. I'm going to make this green. Ooh, instead of it being brown, I'm going to try and match part of the green. Just so that it matches everything else that is down here. And there you go. So there is the, like, a version of the one that Canva ChatGPT gave us, and it's like adding all of these elements in. And I still need to do like, let's look up, their confetti is too heavy for my liking. Yeah, their confetti is a little too heavy for my liking. Where is it? Yeah, I don't really like their confetti. It will take me a little minute to try and find like just some decorative elements like that was on the sample one. I don't really want to do like, I could look for things like stars. I don't really want to do that. Let's just go back over here and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So uploads, we're gonna go to, where are you? This one. So see, like all of these little ones, I mean, it's a part of whatever this little paper thing is to the background. So I don't necessarily want to just add those and just random watercolors. I could, but I really don't want to. I really, really don't want to. Let's see if I just put in water color and I want to see like everything that it kind of gives me. If you wanted to add, okay, so we could add like little accents like this to it. Maybe it's going to be a butterfly garden themed party. One thing that we don't have on here is like a traditional invitation. Like if there was a specific dress code for this, you would want to add that to this invitation. You can do that like in this area down here. Again, I'm not a big fan of the watercolors, but if you wanted to add some dimension to it, and then we're going to take this and go all the way back. So that's not too bad adding that, that just added some color to the top. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. And let's just go ahead and duplicate it and just add it to the bottom, position, send to the back, but then we'll bring it forward. Okay. We're adding a little bit more depth to this. I'm not mad at that watercolor. Not mad at it at all. Here's another thing that we can do. I'm going to go to frames. Like if I wanted to add texture over, even though it's like the paper texture, I'm going to do a frame. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to add this to the frame so that it is the exact same size. I'm going to be able to make that a little bit bigger just so that I have the texture done. And then we're going to reduce the transparency. And then, of course, send it backwards until it is behind the image. But so it changes the color of that just a little bit to match the rest of it. There is no fade like here at the top. So if I wanted to add something to that, we can go shadow We're going to grab a shadow, make that a little bit bigger. And then you're going to send that backwards and adjust the transparency just a little bit. So it almost makes it look like this piece, like the other one, it's on top of another background. Like it's not all flat. That's what those shadows would do. So yeah, there is that version of the one with the palm tree, the palm leaves. Any questions? Any questions? Thank you. All right, we've been on for 2 hours and it's almost time for me to go get Zani Mani. I'm going to do one that is one of the really, really simple ones, just to kind of close out, because it was more that said simple. So like, let's say ones that have frames and things to them. So let's add this one to the screen. All right. So you see how remember I said, if you use their film strip, they're all the same size, but you can make them your own size. So you would go over to elements and go over to frames. I'm going to make one that is a bit narrow. It doesn't really matter the size right now. And then this one is going to be square. Put some spacing in between that. And then we want to add either if you wanted to have like maybe glitter around it or whatever, you can add another frame, or you just go over to shapes. I'm going to send that behind these, and you want to try and make it even all the way around. Group, and then center these. Okay. And I'm going to make that outline white. And I can probably come in just a little bit on that. Just so it's not too thick. Okay, perfect. Come on. Get to the line. I'm trying to grab that line. Okay, there we go. Group it. All right. Oh, wait. Nope, I didn't grab the back piece. Group it. And then that would be our Polaroid, our film strip. And we're going to make this a little bit bigger. You can rotate it. That shape is a little bit different from this one, but it's okay. I'm going to go to components because remember, I kept a lot of these. So we're going to go components. We're going to rotate this 90 degrees. This is mad thick. I don't think I want it to be this thick. We definitely need a thinner one. So we're just going to go and click on it. And I guess it's not going to allow us to. So we're going to go detach. Now I can go info, see more like this and look for some other frames. I want a thinner one. This is what I want. Rotate that bad boy, but it might be too thin. I think it's going to be too thin for this design, so we can't use that. I think that's the other one that we used. That's one, but that's pretty thin. We could do this one and then attach lines to it. I mean, that's getting a little deep in designing, but I mean, we technically could do that. Let's see if we can see more like this. Okay. There we go. That one, no, that's like rounded, but that's okay. That one should work. So we'll use this one. It's just not quite proportional to 4x6. It might be better suited for 5x7. So let's see if it's better suited for 5x7. So we're going to come resize the page, custom size. 5x7 would be 15 by 21. Yeah, see, this was better suited for 5x7. Okay, position, send to the back. We're going to go here. We're going to go over to, you can type it out yourself, but for the sake of time and because I have Pro, we're going to go click. We're going to go graduate. Brianna, Central High School. Hey, my birthday. The Johnson home, address, RSVP, and we're going to go grab. I do think I want the class of 2026 from here. And for that one, we can do magic grab brush. I want all of this grab. It's not the greatest. Didn't do a really good job of pulling that out. I would have to recreate it. That kind of sucks. I was hoping I would be able to get the glitter, but the magic grab didn't do me justice. It did me kind of dirty. All right. Oh, the only thing that sucks about this with grad text, I now need a clean version to be able to see where everything goes. So we're going to go graduate. I wanted class of above this, so I'll just retype it. Oh, you know what I can use? Let's go over to our what's name designs. I'm going to go here and I want class of 2026, copy, paste. Perfect. Class of 2026, graduate. Position. Let's let's lock that so I can highlight everything here. We're going to take her name. I'm going to use the exact same one that I did for all right, let's take this out. X. Let's go back to that script font. Ooh, I actually don't like that for her name. Not the best font for this name, which is good for this example because you get to see how the names don't always work for each type of, like, each name. Sometimes it has to be different because of the characters in the name. So I'm going to try and find a decent font real quick without spending too much time on it, because I do have to go get Zion Imani soon. And then what I'm going to do with this one is duplicate it, delete Williams from the first one, and then delete Brianna from the second one. That way I can make Williams a little bit bigger. I don't have the bold option, but I can come over here to outline, change the color, the thickness. We're going to switch this around and put the please join us there. I don't know if I still like the font. Picking fonts can be the hardest part of designs. I'm telling you, it will be the hardest part. I know I want something kind of scripty for it. Can't even read what that says. Maybe if I do script for the bottom and not so scripty for the top. Haha. This might actually work. And maybe make the text slightly lighter or darker. I don't think I like the shadow though. So remove effect. I'll just have to completely separate them. Group. This is, I don't know if I like the color on there. I'm not going to stress it because this is not a real design. That's the problem for me. Even when I'm teaching, I will stress over the look of it, even when it's not a real design. And I'm trying my best not to do that because I will obsess over it. I promise you I will. So let's see here. And remember I talked about how you can use the same font, but do things like arch it. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go class of with an arch to it. We're going to make it bold. I think I want that to be bold as well. And then if we put an outline in, so position, bring to front. I don't like it over it at all. So we're going to remove effect and just arch it. And I'll add some, I can always go back in and add some other effects to this. So Brianna, we're going to add that decorative element back in. So we're going to go to elements. I'm going to put in a separator. We're going to change this font. All right, let's go find some grad pictures, projects, folders, grad models. On shapes, you can now add, so I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to click on the shape. If you go to effects, they have now made it to where you can add effects such as drop shadows and things like that to shapes. Previously, you could not do this. And then man, the spacing on this is a little bit off compared to the original, because the original was more like, it was shorter. I do want to decrease the line spacing. Even though this is not the same girl, I just want to show where you could have your Polaroid, I mean your film strip, but you can still add in like another image if you want to break up the extra space. All right, so all of this, I'm going to come back over here and just sample the text from here. Copy style. And then now I can use it to copy everything else. I'm just going to copy and paste over here. Sometimes you have to zoom in. For some reason, I can't select. For some reason, it's not letting me select Central High School. So we're going to go to position. And I don't know why the Central High School wasn't selecting, because it is not in the locked area. But for some reason, it wasn't letting me select it. I don't know. It won't let me select Central by itself. Position, Central, arrange to front. Group. I'm going to put the school name at the top, and I'm going to go to elements, gold banner. Take Central High School, change the color, bold. I'll probably make it white effect. I want to definitely curve it to fit this. And then maybe change the font. What happened to my effect? Now, this is going to be a pro tip, because I want to be able to see the words better. So I'm going to make this a much, much lighter color. And reduce the transparency, so I still see the gold, but I'm going to move that on top of here. And so I muted that gold because it was too shiny, and it just allows me to see the Central High School just a little bit better. So now we have it where we know exactly, the school. And then we have that above, class of 2026. So Central High School, class of 2026 graduate. I have the decorative, and then now it's the invitation part. Please join us to celebrate the graduation of Brianna Williams. And then I don't know why it's not allowing me to select. Okay, there it is. So like select the text. Like what is going on here? I'm going to break this up to where it's like this. I'm going to adjust my line spacing a little. I'm going to put a decorative line, change that to 90 degrees. Ooh, it won't let me make it smaller. So I can't use this one because this particular line won't let you make it smaller. So I cannot use that. Every line can't be adjusted smaller. I need a really small line. Ooh, now they have some pretty cool. I do like this. I could have used this instead of that. Oh, that would have been pretty, but I'm not going to go there. I just need a thin, straight line. Gold line. That's kind of blurred. This won't let me resize it. I need a really short line. And if I can't find one, I can always, of course, make it. It just won't have the metallic effect to it. And that's probably what we're going to have to do. We're going to go to elements and line. And we're just going to have to put a line and make it similar to the color. It's just not going to have that gold effect. It has attached itself to my text, but that's fine. What I'm trying to do is let me open up one of the uploads because I believe one of them has it this way. I think one of them had it this way. Nope. I was trying to do it where it's kind of split on the same line. I thought I saw one that was split that way. Maybe not. Okay. I guess I won't split it. I'll just leave it. I don't know why it won't. It's giving me a hard time selecting fonts. Well, selecting the text box. I don't know what these addresses was that Chat GPT created. And we just gonna go 365. We can do 2365 Creative Street. See how big this is? We don't want this to be where it becomes like the main focus of it. So we're just going to shrink this down some. And then the RSVP. If I can grab it, I'm going to change the date to the same font as this one. Let's see, will it grab it? I won't go to it. All right. Come on. I don't understand why. Like, nothing is covering this date, but it will not grab it. Let's see if we can do it now. Now, this can start to look like it has way too many fonts on it. So you want to be very, very careful with the fonts that you choose, because I have like this 2026, which is meant to be more of a decorative piece. It can start to look like there's way too many fonts on here. Like right now, I don't like, and then this is uppercase, this is not. So it starts to look a little funky when you have that much like going on as far as the font. So be careful with that. I'm going to try to maybe add some line spacing. And I want to take off this. I'm going to put of underneath it. Of. And I need my reference one just one more time. Which one is it? Just so I can see how they did. Because remember, we're using these as a reference of how to set this up. All right, so they have the name at the top. I just have to do this part, which is the same. The rest of it is going to, of course, be different. So Saturday, May 30th, we're going to bold this. We're going to bold this, leave of the way that it is. And then I'm going to just make all of this the same font. But to see for the address, it looks a little weird. I can't use that for the address the way that it was. But that font doesn't quite work for this and all the other fonts that are here. So let's see if we do this one. See, when you're doing fancy fonts like that, you cannot read the text. So you don't want to use super, super fancy fonts on things that you need like the reader to actually read. You have to be very, very careful with that. So this is where choosing fonts tend to take up a lot of time, especially for things like this. The best thing to do is to find fonts that you like. If you're going to do a lot of invitations, find fonts that you would use all the time so that you don't have to go through this every single time. And I have to go pick up Zion Imani. So I'm just going to pick any font here because I got to go. It is time to go get the little person. I don't like any of these fonts, but you get the idea as far as layout. Okay, let's do this Anvar, whatever the heck this was. Go to the top. No, not quicksand. You. AVEN. AVE. AVEN. See, I'm not feeling this one all the way. And I'm guessing this was supposed to say by June, but June is definitely after May. So we'll just put April 15th. Because again, I have no idea what the hell ChatGPT put on there. But I have to fix this. I can't fix it now. Zanimani gets out of school in 10 minutes and his school is 5 minutes away. So I would have to, I'll finish this and then just post it to my Facebook as far as how it looked, like the final look of it. Now here is where I'm going to take this one. So we'll do a film strip, mix it with a Polaroid, or I might do the image by itself like I did before. We're going to go to projects, grad models. It's not the same person, but, and see, in the background is white. That's going to look weird. I'm going to do this. We're going to go here, resize page, and we're going to make this more of a square design. So we're going to go custom size. I'm going to make this 15 by 15, copy and resize. Now my border doesn't fit, which sucks. My border doesn't fit now. All right, so I'm going to take off part of this. I'm going to duplicate it, flip it, move this over here, and move this over here. I'll have to crop some more so that it doesn't overlap too much. There we go. And that is how I will get that to fit this, because this design will work out better without having to add another image to it. This would work out better in a square format. Okay, why are you not going to the back? See, all of this now fits in here. Like the spacing on it is going to be a whole lot better. I can make the name bigger and then make all of the other text at the bottom much smaller so that it doesn't overpower it. I like this layout a whole lot better with this being a square invitation versus it being a 4x6 or 5x7, whichever one it was. And then I will do the address. But I got to go get Zanimani. I have 5 minutes to get to his school, and he's 5 minutes away. But those are ways that you can, add just images, text, find basic backgrounds in Canva to create graduation announcements, graduation designs. And like I said, if you're short on ideas, find something that you can recreate or use ChatGPT to create a design and then you recreate that. Okay. So do you recommend understanding Canva bids prerequisite? Understand? Oh, okay. So technically the fall semester one, it's that's supposed to be hidden. I'm not even sure how you got to that one, but it should be the Canva business prerequisite because I moved everybody that was in the fall semester one over to the prerequisite one, which is the understanding Canva. So that's the main one. So we did the fall one, but I ended up moving everybody over just to combine those two. So I don't know how you found the fall one because that's supposed to be hidden, but just do the prerequisite. And that's going to be where the new sessions are as well, because Canva is going to have a lot of updates after the 16th. And so once I start the new round, because we just finished 13 weeks, we're going to start it up again after the 16th, where every single week you will be able to attend a live training on Canva. That way you're learning in real time and you're able to ask questions in real time. Okay. So, and I will say, design wise, let me actually go back to that. They're not design courses. Designing is different. That's why it's called prerequisite. In order to take the design classes, you have to be in my prerequisite or be able to answer questions about Canva, because when we go into design, I need to be able to explain design concepts, design layouts, composition, not how frames work, not how shapes work, not shadows and all of those things. So in order to take any of my design classes, you have to do the prerequisite, which is why it's called prereq, because that is the foundation. That is understanding Canva at its core. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. For the person that asked about the class. Let's see up here. This is really this is how it would be in real time, trying to decide on fonts and colors. Good job. Moving on. It all comes together. Just takes time. Yes. So that's why I wanted to do this the way that I did it in real time, so that people don't feel like these things just come together. You don't feel like, okay, well, it's me. It has to be me. I'm taking too long. Why is it taking so long coming up with these designs? This is what happens in real time, which is why I did this live demonstration this way, where everything wasn't like perfect. I didn't already have like a pre-design in place to where I'm just going in and saying, I'm going to add this, we're going to add this, we're going to add that, and do all that. Like, it takes time when you are designing from scratch. Now, I could have made it look almost similar to the reference ones and tried to find like the look and face and like really followed that example to make my life a little bit easier. But when you're just using it as a reference and you're still designing, this is what happens in real time for designing. All right. But I got to go pick up my kid. I'm about to be late. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.